Hi everyone, this is Cherie from Paper Pieces and Leftovers. I'm a design team member for 12x12 cardstock.shop and a design team member for Marjorie Ann Designs. This video is going to be paper piecing just one single piece, which is over here. Don't mind my Smurf fingers. I didn't bother taking off the ink just because I've been working with so much blue. But this video is going to be piecing Franny, as Franklin's here and he's almost done. You guys definitely want to go follow 12x12 Cardstock Shop on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook if you haven't already, because I am going to show a whole lot of goodies on embellishing these pieces. This is just the piecing tutorial, but the extras, you guys will get to see them there first before I post them to mine, just because I have to wait until they go live on their site before I can put it on mine. So now, Franklin and Franny, Sweet Like Honey from Marjorie Ann Designs. So far, I'm in love. Let me tell you about this paper though. So I got a paper pack from 12x12 cardstock.shop, and it is the skin tone pack. It has, I cut them in half for 6x12s just for my mats, because I was running, like this was a kid, and then I used the black for her hair, etc. But there are so many pretty colors that are for more than just skin tones. You got hair colors, and this off-white cream color, I can see a bunny. And one of the light browns, which I believe is going to be fawn, I went ahead and used for Franklin. Now, all the pieces that are going to come in the Colors of the World Skin Tones pack is here. And so far, I'm in love with all of them. I don't have any complaints, except you guys know me and working with smooth cardstock. But I made it work. So definitely follow 12x12 Cardstock Shop on the other platforms, because you guys will see all the stuff I did with this paper pack. So let's work on Franny. And the other video that I'm going to do after this with the embellishments, you guys don't want to miss out on. I just can't give it all away though, even though you're going to see it shortly once it's up and posted. So let's go ahead and put this together. And I hope everybody's doing well. I have been okay. I'm back to scrapbooking. I've been coping with my Nana's passing. I can't really complain about much. I'm in good health, and as you guys seen, I got a puppy for Mother's Day. She's a teacup, and she won't get much bigger than she already is. She's just a little under 2 pounds, and I am so in love with that little thing. She is a pain in my ass, but I love her so. She keeps me up at night wanting to play. She's boatloads of energy. Hubby is sleeping right now, and she's sleeping next to him, and then if she gets up, I have her, and he takes day duty while I take a nap, which is great because he gets home fairly early from work. So as you guys know, I've gone over this several times with the layers. Legs always first. I should have trimmed that off, and I didn't, just because I was sitting here talking about Mrs. Pups in there, who she just, oh, Callie is so much fun. The reason I overlapped is I didn't like the feet so far spaced apart, so I did it on that one as well, just to kind of make it where I want it. This background piece is just a guide. It does not have to be dead smack where the background is. Yes, that's what it's for, but even if you're like me and your hands shake and your body shifted one way and the base is the other way, you you just trim. Trimming is fine. Nobody will know. They'll never know. So what I'm using is Tombow. These are dots that I got from Joann's. And the reason I use them is because it keeps the body from sinking down where the legs are, because I didn't trim them down. I got ahead of myself because it's been a while since I did a video, honestly. They're permanent double-sided adhesive dots. They come in different sizes. This is the 3/8 of an inch, which is 9.5 millimeters. I love them. Cardstock Shop, 12x12 Cardstock Shop does sell them. And they do use the glue dots, which I'm going to use in another video. But this is just kind of how I keep my pieces from sinking. If you ever really look closely to layered pieces, sometimes depending on the glue that they use or a heavy hand, there could be a lot of things. Moisture in the air. You'll see where it curves down. There we go. And that just makes me bonkers. And this, honestly, you don't have to do. This is just my preference. Just because the weight of the scrapbooks, that's another thing. It will push on the pieces and cause the indentations where you can see the legs per se, or the feet. If you were to have the foot here, then you would see the fold there. And I just picked this up on something I was doing, trying to figure out how to make it as smooth as I could to hold the weight of the scrapbook. And this works for me. I use it on sometimes the muzzle, depending on if I stamped too high or if I traced the eyes too high in the muzzle. I have to bring it down to cover to the bottom of the mount, or the bottom of the base piece, and it is a lifesaver in the long run. I have it under this one as well, and you won't see where the eyes, and because this is 3 pieces of paper, and this paper lays over those 3 on the corners, and I just put it behind there to keep it from sinking. I don't do it all the time. I try to do it when I remember. And I'm using Barely Art Glue from 12x12 Cardstock Shop. And the paper pack that I ordered, you guys, oh my gosh, it's gonna go perfect. It has little bees and all sorts of like garden paper. I can't wait for it to come, because then I can show everybody what the paper pack consists of, but also how well it's going to coordinate with this set of paper pieces. I went crazy on the Cardstock Shop. I went absolutely insanely crazy with the single pieces. A couple in here that snuck in are from Hobby Lobby, but other than that, the majority, even the ugly sweaters. But I have one that I have in mind, and the colors are just, you can get away with so many of these for other things. I wasn't sure exactly how much paper I wanted to order, but I wanted to make sure that I ordered 12x12s of colors of pieces or files that I have. And I have strawberry files, I have watermelon, lemon, and you can always swap out the kids or the bunnies for Franklin if that's what you want. But look at all these cute designs, and most of them are double-sided, which is a huge plus for me. because you can use it as your photo mat. I don't know what I'm doing with Franny's bow there, don't mind me. But these are just so cute. Just a quick glimpse. 4th of July, of course, Valentine's, Easter. Look at that, isn't that so adorable? I'm just in awe because our Joann's up here where I live in California is a little rough with cycling out their older cardstock. They don't do it often, and I own almost every single set of cardstock that they have, especially the double-sided. And I can't complain because that is my go-to for when I need my solids. But I can complain when I want a specific pattern paper. But 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop has paper packs of 12 by 12s, and I've ordered bunches of them. They will be here this week. I also have some stuffed in my dream box. Okay, back to this wonderful mess. So Barely Art glue is from 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, and I just put it in my fine line applicator bottle. I'm using the 18 gauge. It's just because it's skinnier for me. I drop everything. Sometimes bad words follow, but the bottle is a little easier for me to grab, and it allows me to hold more glue. The 2-ounce bottle, it's a decent size. It's still a little thicker than this though. So I just kind of found those and went with those. Plus the metal pin, it keeps your tip unclogged. This is the 4-ounce bottle. The difference. Just so you guys can see that this is thinner. It is my friend. And we're going to go ahead and, like in the other videos, the legs, the feet, the body, the ears, the inner ears, and then the head. The arms can always go on last because they either are going to go behind the body or posed in front of the body. And you guys definitely need to catch the video that I'm going to be doing after this one, but it'll come out before this one. And it's going to be of all the embellishments I'm going to add to this file, just so you guys have ideas. Me, I love textures, I love embellishments, I love extras. But I'm even bringing out the Prima flowers. If you guys could see how stuffed my dream box is with everything. All right. So I use the brush sticks. I bought the ones Amazon had. I don't think Amazon restocked. And I know I linked these in another video. And this is what I put my cheeks on with. Just because it applies it more evenly than a pom-pom, it allows me to get into the grooves of textured paper. Since textured is my favorite go-to paper, I do work well with smooth. But since I don't have a lot of smooth, I don't know about you guys, but it just, I think because of my OCD, I can't have a smooth piece of cardstock and then textured for everything else. So I think that's why I stick with one solid paper. Now I've already put the whites of the eyes on, and that's using the Pan Pastel. And I believe this is a lip brush. All I did was put tape around it just to hold it so I had more control to just the tip. And I cut out a gazillion little circles for the eyes. This is my cheating because my hands don't always want to work. You guys will see shortly when I go to glue this. My hands are a little shaky today. I don't know. Where you guys live, is the weather crazy. I just hit the camera, sorry. The weather here has been crazy, crazy. We were high 80s, low 90s, and then it was 60. What happened? Okay, so little pieces. Put it on your finger and drag your piece through. This is something I learned from Peppermint Cactus, my friend Sarah. She used to scrapbook all the time. She was on the design team with me, and then she kind of got burnt out on scrapbooking, I'm gonna guess, but she got into doing foam board work, painting it to make it look like real wood, fall wood, and a lot of that is on her Peppermint Cactus website. But I asked her one day, how the heck did she get her little pieces on without messing them up or having glue rings and circles and smears? And she said, oh, let me tell you what I've learned, how easy it is. You just put glue on your finger and you drag it through. I felt like such a really smart person. Now, I got my tools actually yesterday, my little pinchers, tweezers, there you go, that's the word, from Amazon. And the reason I did these, bone folder, they have a texture that is easier to hold than this smooth one. I don't know. It's not lumpy, but it's not smooth and slippery like this. And it does come with two. It comes with a straight and then a bent, angled. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and put the muzzle on. And I can link that if anybody wants it. I try to work smarter, not harder. Just because I've gotten so far with getting pieces done and then I've dropped them and had to rip something off to correct it, such as the muzzle. Imagine dropping the muzzle on the face. You can't get the glue off. It's permanent. You smear it, make a bigger mess, and then it's just one bucket of fun all over your paper piece. Yeah. So I try to just find things that work a little easier for me. And I know there's a lot of older scrapbookers. I'm in my 40s, and I've come across women my age and even a lot older than me that scrapbook. And they say the same thing. They try to work smarter, not harder. Now, she's put together, so we're going to go ahead and put the arms behind her. Arms go on last, and I have the pattern up on my laptop in front of me, so that way I know where to put the little honey pot that she's holding. Now, the glue that I had on the top of the head, if that would have made a mess, I would have just moved the bow, which I'm using two slightly different blues, and you'll see they're very similar, but they're different. And the blues that I used are going to be, let's see if you guys can tell. I'm going to pull the bow up here with my super blue fingers. Oh, that is so awesome. That doesn't go to that. It goes to the pot. I just realized that. Okay, there we go. The blue is a little bit lighter. And that's just so it doesn't blend into each other without any definition. So let's go ahead and add the whites of the eyes. And you guys can do this in your own way. I know sometimes I do it at the very, very end. And sometimes I do it before the end, like now. yeah, the weather here has been absolutely crazy. The nights are freezing, and then now starting tomorrow, we're going to be back in the 70s, going back into the 80s and 90s really quick. The nights are still pretty cool. During summer, though, the nights normally are still in the 80s at midnight. Air conditioner 24/7, but I saw in the news that 1.5 million people are going to be without the air conditioner and electricity during the summer. So I went a little bit overboard with the white just because my hands are a little shaky. And all I do is I use my little fine tip to get it off. And I'll clean it back up by going back over it here momentarily. But I am working through my mistakes. Just, I still make them, and I try to make everybody understand. Don't think we don't make them. We just fix them if we can. For the most part, we get them all fixed. But sometimes you can't fix them. Excuse me. All right, now off to her little pot of honey. And I did write down the sizes because my eyelash stamp and my eyes. The head, let me pull this down so I don't have to lean so far forward. There we go. 2 inches from cheek to cheek. And Franny was 9.5, and the lock is on. That's the width. And it automatically changes the height. And then Franklin is 10.25 width. The title, I just did a 9.0. Now we're going to put her hands aside and get her little honey pot going. Let me run a line across. I haven't seen a whole lot of posts lately, and I don't know if it's just school's getting out and everybody's prom and graduation and this, that, and the other. Normally I have a lot of activity on my feed, and it's just not, it's not just me that's went on the hiatus for a little bit, I guess. Also, one of the girls told me I seen Cuddly Cute Designs. The URL is available for purchase. You can't buy anything. It does not exist anymore. So I don't know what she's doing with that. All right, this is the honey. I love allergies. Yes, windy. It was windy today. I have a ton of Cuddly Cute Designs files, but I don't have them all. I know with Little Scraps of Heaven, before that whole thing happened, we had a warning, so I went through and bought every file that I thought I was gonna be able to utilize in one way or another. And then she ended up not closing the site down. So I don't know if Cuddly Cute's gonna come back, or if she's gonna do something else, maybe through an Etsy store and not have the website. I haven't really looked yet. Okay. I am using Glossy Accents for the honey. I've already done that on this. I let them dry, but I'm going to do that in the next video. Just that way I can show everybody. We're going to put this in her little honey pot. Now, the fun part. This little itty bitty word, honey. And more glue. Yeah. The good thing about this glue is if you forget to take it off, or you don't get it all, and you don't want to peel off all your hair on your knuckles. I have peach fuzz, not really hair, but it still hurts. You wash your hands and you'll see white. So that was definitely a good thing is it turns white. And I have a little spot there of glue, so I'm gonna have to take that off, which shouldn't be too hard. I got these little gummy erasers from Hobby Lobby. I might have to let it dry a little bit more to come up. Nope, it's almost off. I cut them down. I have probably 5 or 6 of them. And I cut them down so I could get in between pieces if need be. And that's just a me thing. Everybody kind of does their own thing. I don't even know if I want the word here just because I'm not really liking that it's all the same color. I don't know if that was an oversight on me. That's why I try to lay these little things out before I do so. And I can change the color of this. It's not hard. And I know once I glaze it, it's going to brighten that up. Maybe that's why I didn't bother. When you're concentrating that hard to see if you want to go this way, this route. My house is quiet. Hubby's asleep with the new puppy. Yeah, see, I'm not crazy over that lettering, so I think I'm gonna just skip that and keep it the way it is. I mean, you know what's in it. And that's just me. So she's going to be holding this. I'm looking at how her thumbs are. And they have one little paw up here, but that would make me absolutely bonkers. So my thing is, we're probably going to have her holding the bowl like this, like so. And I'm not going to glue that down because, like I said, I'm going to record the other video and put the glaze, the glossy accent on it. I am going to go ahead and put the white on her nose and fix the white of her eye. And I don't know if you guys seen, but I used a clear acetate for my muzzle line. That way it's as even as can be, and I can see through it on where I want to place it. He's so cute. Yeah, the colors are, I used a very slight difference in the yellows. I know one is beeswax and the other is, they're right here. This is going to be the beeswax and this one is wild honey. And just changing it just that little itty bit makes a huge difference. All right, so we're going to put the title together. And then I'm going to end the video so I can start recording the embellishment one that you guys will see shortly. And I put all of my pieces to my title in my little Taco Bell cup. I've already inked my title. And my title width is 9.0 in Cricut Design Space. I will give you the height in just a moment. So with this 9.0, height is 6.113. All right. Here is this little itty bitty lettering. And the fun begins, right? Yay. So I am going to put a coat on my hand. And for this one, oh, my show on pause. Sorry about that. We're just going to try to get it everywhere. Normally I would go over the back the best I could, but my hand is a little shaky. Gotta love these days. So with this, it does not have to be perfect because this glue is great. This Barely Art glue, it's gonna stick. A drop here and a drop there. If you get the drops at the bottom and the top, it's not going anywhere. You don't have any worries. You won't have any lifting. And then I just touch it to my hand to get the rest off. So let's put this down. I'm going to use the bone folder. And this just helps get the glue to adhere to everything. I'm just going to clean up since I squished all the glue out of it. Just a little in between the holes here. And I'll clean it up again once I'm done. I went around the edge with a baby blue. I do that just for myself. Some people ink their titles, some don't. I actually went around all the edges and inked. Let's see. Yeah, you can see the blue. And my blue is going to be the Versamagic Sea Breeze. We're going to put this over here. Same thing. I go back and forth with Barely Art glue and art glitter glue. Days like today, though, definitely Barely Art, because it's more forgiving and you can move it. All right. As even as I can, eyeballing it. All right. Bone folder. I don't know, I feel so boring today. Normally I'm laughing and joking and being silly and talking about eating the evidence. But I think because I've been so just kind of distracted with life. My mom was in the hospital. Well, you guys know in February my grandma passed away. My Nana. Big part of my life. In my life every day. I spent weekends with her. I spent summers with her. I spent, you name it. I had 3 annoying little brothers. And so Nana's house was quiet time. Didn't have to do chores and clean up after my brothers. Didn't have to help my mom with all the other nonsense. So Nana's house was quiet because I was all by myself. I would even play games by myself. I didn't care that my brothers weren't there. And I met friends. So I'd go hang out at their house and I talked to her every day, especially as she got old and I got older. And the circle of life is really rough. And I have to keep reminding myself, you know, when we pass away, we don't know that we didn't wake up. I know she had chest pain before she died of a massive heart attack because she called the neighbor at 4:30. Neighbor wanted her to let him call an ambulance, and she fought with him, her old ass. For 20 minutes, they bickered because he can't call and be like, yeah, my neighbor doesn't want an ambulance, but I want her to have one. Excuse me. So finally she gave into the ambulance, and he called 911. The cops got there. She said, her chest was hurting, and the police officer got there first. Him and my grandma's neighbor went out front to wait for the ambulance and to use the flashlight to flag them in, because it was now 5 o'clock in the morning, and here on the West Coast, it's dark. Well, they went back in, and she had passed away just that quickly. So she doesn't know that she didn't wake up, that she passed away. We do. We feel it. We feel it every day. And my mom, I don't know what happened to her. She just started falling apart. So I ombre'd these flowers. All I did was ombre them with these handy dandy little inking brushes from Amazon. But yeah, I just have to keep reminding myself. My grandma doesn't know she's not here. My daughter knows she's not here. I know she's not here, and look what I just did. That's what I'm talking about. But we're adjusting. I didn't want to do much of anything for 4 to 6 weeks. Just her birthday came right after she passed away, and then Mother's Day, and before I got married, I would send her huge bouquets of flowers, big arrangements, because my grandpa passed away in 2010 and she was alone, and he used to do that. And then I'd get her a huge arrangement of Bath and Body Works, and also her white diamond perfume, because that's just what he did for Mother's Day. And her birthday, she was a diet-controlled diabetic. I would get her other perfumes, and if I didn't take her out to eat, I would make sure that I mailed her money so she could go out with the neighbor. If my daughter had a doctor's appointment, or I did, And I would talk to her almost every night. I would go crazy when she'd accidentally FaceTime me at 3 in the morning. And those were nights that I was actually able to go to sleep. But I would give anything to have that back, Well, long story short, her and my grandfather never got married, together for over 44 years. And it was something because he was in the VA. Well, he was in the military, he's VA, but it was going to do something with her insurance for 6 months. This was back then, and you couldn't tell her any different. She was so afraid to lose her insurance because of her blood pressure medicine, and then she was on medication to help control her heart rate. And my grandpa, it was just, my grandma was alone, and I wanted to make sure that she didn't feel so alone, So between my mom and me and my daughter and my husband, we would make sure that Christmas, Mother's Day, her birthday, Valentine's, she was always taken care of. And I just had to adjust, but I would call her and FaceTime her to show her the pieces I would finish. And that is one of the hardest parts that I've had to adjust to, is not having her to show. Now, I'm going to use my Wink of Stella, but I want to make sure that I use clear and not white because I've done that already. And, well, actually I can use white because it's on white. Yeah. So, the Wink of Stella. Nope, that's really white. I forgot. Never mind. I was just kidding. I'm going to use the clear glitter. And this one is new. It has not been opened yet. Go to the next one. This one is open. Okay. So it's going to give you a glitter effect. And I'm going to put that on the hearts in the next video. But I'll ramble on in another one another day. Probably tomorrow night well, tonight, because it's 3:57 a.m. on Thursday. I will get my pieces cut out today with my friend Lisa. We're going to FaceTime and cut out stuff and work on it together now that I'm back up to scrapbooking. I'm not crying as often when I talk about my grandma because now it's happy memories. You know, it's things that I'm so lucky. I had her for 42 years. A lot of people didn't have their grandma as long as I did. And so all those memories, I'm a lot more fortunate than a lot of people I know, and I'm thankful for that. I would bring Callie in here so you guys could see her, but she's sleeping. And I don't want to bombard you guys with pictures of her all over my Facebook. But I bought her clothes. My husband let me. She has enough outfits to wear a new outfit every day for a month, and I'm not done shopping yet because some of her other clothes won't be here for a few weeks. Yeah. But she makes me get out of bed. She makes me take her outside. She won't let me sleep. She wants to play and love on me, and she's definitely... I had Molly. Molly was a rescue dog. I won't get into how I ended up with her, just because I got her from a neighbor. And Molly's older, and my mother-in-law is older, and my mother-in-law wanted Molly since she seen Molly. And the deal with my husband, because he knew I'd only had Molly for a few weeks, but he knew my attachment with Molly. She only moved 3 houses down. She's not far, so when I say this, don't think we just got rid of her. I had to let my mother-in-law have her in order for me to get a new puppy for Mother's Day. And I'm okay with that because my mother-in-law needed an older companion, and me, I needed somebody younger, somebody that was going to not lay around and sleep all day like Molly, because Molly was just making my laziness even worse. I would lay on the bed or lay on the couch and just watch TV all day. And the whole day would pass. My days would just run into the next, and before I knew it, 6 weeks passed. And I couldn't even really talk about my grandma without crying. This is stuck because of glue. So this is the little pot he's holding. But other than that, I can actually talk about her now and not break down and cry. I still get teary sometimes, but other than that, no. I just, lots of happy memories and funny conversations. Maybe one day I'll play the video for you guys, or the message. This old woman called me at 3-something in the morning. I was sleeping. She told me to hurry up and turn on channel 91 because it was one of the channels she would watch for jewelry. They were selling dildos. Do you know how awkward that is coming from a 78? She was 78 because it was 2 years ago. Almost 79, or maybe she was 79. Yeah, that was awkward. That whole message and then the conversation with my grandmother, very awkward. But how many people can say that their almost 80-year-old grandmother would call them with that nonsense? No, I can. Amongst other things, but yeah. I have lots of happy stories. I can give you guys recipes from her. we went through her house. Her porcelain dolls,